Okay, so today we will be talking about a famous person, and it's a person that Sasa has selected for us. Right, Sasa? Right? The
Yes.
person? Yeah. So who are we gonna speak about today?
Putin.
Oh, is that the guy?
Yes.
He has the Russian President Vladimir
Yes.
Putin, right? Yeah. So so for today's talk shows, I've already arranged some questions. So Sasa will lead us today in our discussion. Okay. So the first question on this talk show, since you selected this person, why do you select him, and what do you think are his best qualities?
I think he's a perfect president.
He's a perfect president.
Yes.
Okay.
Because,
Look at it.
I just feel he knows everything.
He loves everything, or
He
he's like, he knows everything.
Yeah,
Okay.
everything. Yeah.
Example?
For example, he like play piano.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He know how to control the tap.
Okay.
And
Yes.
Riding a horse.
Riding a horse, yeah.
And many sports.
Yeah, he can do a lot of
Yes.
things. Yeah, you're right.
And can drive the airplane.
Yeah.
Airplane.
Yes,
Right?
airplane, yes.
Yes.
But he is a man of many talents. Yeah, he is a man of many talents.
Yes.
It's
But
like
that
a superhero.
yeah, that is partly because of his background, right? And what do you think of him, Lian Song?
For Putin,
Yeah.
actually, I don't know much about him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know he's a Russia president.
President.
He's a tough man.
He's a tough man. Yeah.
He likes the outdoor sports.
Yep.
Adventures.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then other.
Yeah.
Nice sports,
He does a lot of things, right? One thing about him is that, do you know how many times he has become a president of Russia?
3 times.
Yeah, three terms, but he was president twice. This is the second time.
Yeah.
Okay, so in between, what was he doing? He was
Spy.
that was before becoming a president. He was doing you can call it spy or intelligence. Yeah, all right, and then he became the prime minister. He was the prime minister for a short while, and then he became president, and then he became prime minister again, and then he became president.
Yeah.
So he was a president twice, and he was
Yes.
he is a president now. So he's a prime minister twice, and he's a president twice. Right.
Yes.
Very interesting background, and all the things that you said about him, like he does a lot of outdoor sports, indoor sports as well. He plays ice hockey as well. It's one of his favorite sports. Yeah. And you spoke about his leadership and character, and he seems like the complete person to you, right? Like he knows how things. In history? Is that in the industry?
Okay.
Yeah. He knows a lot of things, right?
Yes.
Yeah. What are the things about his character or leadership? Does it inspire you? Does it motivate you as a business owner? Do you want to be like him?
Yes, maybe I like to hear his story, and I like his experience.
His experience.
Yes.
Experience as well.
Yes.
Okay, good.
And about his many stories.
He has many stories.
Yeah.
And Lian, the other day when we decided to talk about Putin, you had some idea about him, right? So you want to share?
Yes.
Yes.
For about the Russia history, I know a little. Yeah.
Okay.
I know. How to say? After the collapse of the Soviet Union.
Yeah, USSR, Soviet Union. Yeah.
Yeah, to get the points.
Yeah. The old Russia. Yeah.
Over.
Yeah. The old Russia is called the Soviet
Yeah.
Union. Yeah.
The Russia's position
Yeah.
in the world was very low.
Yes.
In the meantime, he used Putin used Russia like his image, the superpower.
So he revived or he rebuilt Russia, right?
Yes,
Yeah. So he changed the history.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay, that's quite true actually. Before he came into power, Russia, it was at the collapse of the Soviet Union, right? And yeah, they were not really a superpower like they were during the Cold War period.
Yeah. So
yeah,
I think compare with the previous leader, such as
Yeltsin, Boris Yeltsin. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Putin is stronger
Yes.
than him. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think that's because of his background in doing spy or intelligence?
Yeah, I know a little bit about his background.
Yes. You want to share?
He was a spy before,
Yes.
and someone maybe his teacher changed him.
Change him.
Change him.
Good.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he from a spy and joined the politics.
Politics. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
politics.
law. Yeah.
Yes, and he how did he save his teacher?
Yes.
Yes,
Right.
and how does he
Yes.
change the Russia's economy?
Yes. Economy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you find out
So-
how he changed the economy? Any of you know? It's very interesting.
Yes.
It's,
He
yeah.
how to say he
It is a
control the rich man
Yes.
in Russia.
yes,
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah.
So the biggest Russians businesses,
Yeah.
they are all linked to the government.
Yes.
Yes.
So it's the monopoly.
You can it's not a monopoly because the government don't own the businesses. It's just that the government links to the business. Yes.
Oh.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's slightly different. Yeah. So it's like let's say Sasa is Russian and I'm Putin and Sasa has got a good business. I have ways to get hold of that business, but without the government coming into the picture, right? That's
So the government is for business.
the big businesses, the government knows about it, and the governments have some dealings in
The
it.
government want to make so much money.
That's how they make money, as in that's how they earn from it, or build up the economy, I would say. They don't earn, they just build up the economy from it. That's one way. Yeah, interesting, right? And he's not like other Russians actually, right? When he was younger, he was like when you say he was not a good boy in school, but then only when he's up to high school, grade 6, if I'm not wrong, then he realized that maybe it's time to change, and then he learned about law. He became a spy.
Yes.
And where do you think he was placed when he was doing the spy work or intelligence? Actually, it's called intelligence. Where do you think he worked? In which country?
German.
Yes.
German.
Yes, he was in Germany for the longest time.
Yes.
So that's why his understanding of economy is
So
he learned economy before in university.
Yes.
So he's sourced from Germany.
Yeah. So when he after university, he learned law and a bit of economy in university, right? And then he became a KGB officer, a spy. But he was based in Germany. So he was based in Germany up to 1990, if I'm not wrong. And then that's when he he came back to Russia, and then he started to do politics. But he was exposed to the German style of economy, so that's what makes him very different from the rest. Okay, let's move to the next one, and well, I mean, he's been around for a long time. I remember, Lianso, you said that, yeah, I'll share some things about him, right? So controversies are things that are not really, it might not be very pleasant, right? I mean, we know that he doesn't have a good relationship with the US,
Yeah.
right? Right, that's one. This was the war, the civil war in Ukraine that happened recently. There was this area where the Russians and the Ukraine were fighting. This is quite recent, and then he tends to be a bit controversial. That's his character, right? But what do you think of him as a person? Do you think that is he really a bad guy? Like the whole world thinks that he's a bad guy. What do you think, Denzel? Some of the things that you want to share. Do you really think he's as bad as what the world says, or maybe it's just media?
I don't think he's bad.
Yeah.
I think he's a good president.
Yeah.
Because the Russia's politics after the collapse of the Soviet Union, the Russia's politics environment is complex.
Complex, yeah.
There has always been a conflict with the West.
Yes, the West, yeah.
Such as America.
Yeah.
So Putin's strong politics style is a good way to prevent Russia from being defended by other countries.
Yeah.
He must build a image of Russia.
So it's to show that we are a strong country. You don't mess with us.
He must do it.
Yeah, he has to do it. Yeah. So that's the reason why you think that's why they don't have really good relationships with some countries, right? Yeah. That's true. What do you think, Sasa? What do you think? I mean, you like him, so you don't think he's that bad, right? But he seems to have some issues with a few people. Maybe we don't talk about the US. How about do you think his relationship with the Chinese? What do you think?
I think Putin, Russia has a good relationship with America and China.
Now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
America with
America as well?
China.
Okay.
Have a good relationship.
Good relationship. Yes.
Right. Why
Because
do you,
because in 9/11 affair
Yeah.
America,
yeah.
yes, in Russia show, TV show, Putin when Putin hear the 9/11 affair in USA, he was very touched and
he cried.
Cry.
Okay.
So the American president saw him
Crying
cry in the
on
TV
TV.
show,
Right.
So
President Bush, yeah.
Bush is was very touched
By this.
Yeah, by this. So actually Bush and Putin
They're quite okay.
Good
Good
friends.
friends.
Good friends. Yeah.
So now do you think the relationship is better or was it as bad as it was during the Cold War? Back a few years ago, maybe 10-20 years ago, they were having the Cold War, right?
Yeah.
The Cold War was about who would become the superpower. And eventually Russia ran out of money. And that was the whole issue, right? They just ran out of money and they just collapsed. That was the collapse of the Soviet Union as well. So, but now, at this stage, do you think the relationship is good or Is it getting better or is it getting worse between Russia and the US? What do you think? You think that it's not so good?
So from that on,
Yeah.
I think the relationship getting better than
It's getting-
before.
Oh, then
Because
before.
before
Yes.
America and
Russia. Soviet Union.
Soviet
Yeah.
had a fight.
Yes.
A fight.
Yeah.
So now it's better.
Yeah. With the Cold War, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So now you think it's better as well? Yeah, I personally feel it's better. It's just that they're just defending their own rights to become superpowers, right? And when do you think China falls in the picture here? China closer to the US or the Russians? What do you think? China.
China.
Yeah. Are they closer to the US or closer to the Russians, or are they just
I
in
think
the middle?
China is close to Russia.
Russians, right?
Because from before to now, Russia and China also the relationship is good.
Good.
Yeah, it's good.
So, how did they build this relationship? What's the common thing between Russia and China? What's common? Yeah. There must be something that it's linked, right? What do you
Yes,
think?
it's nearly. China is nearly to Russia.
Yeah, in terms of location as well. Yeah.
Because they how to say America they
Oh, they don't really. Their relationships with America, is that what you're trying to say?
都是站在同一战线，反美，
Oh, okay, okay.
对抗美国。
Okay, because China is nearly to
So-
Russia. So if America
Attack.
want to fight
Okay.
Russia or want to fight China, there's some influence
I see.
each countries.
Right. So because of the close.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, in terms of geography, they are next to each other. They are close,
Yes.
and at the same time, they also, in terms of the government, they are also close, right? We know that, and they share the same military in terms of their equipment as well.
Yeah.
And that's true. And yeah, they prevent America from becoming the full superpower, right?
Yeah.
If without China and without the Russians, then
Yes.
this whole world would be just
Yeah.
Americans, right? It's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, good. So do you think that he's not as bad as what people make him out to be, right? He's quite okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's actually quite okay. He's quite interesting actually. I watched a couple of documentaries. I read a couple of books on him. Like what Sasa said earlier, he's very motivated. And when he wants something, he gets it done. And that even includes from a president. He decided to become a prime minister because he said no, the economy has to change, and he doesn't want to give somebody else to take over the post. So he said, I'll do it. So I'll be the prime minister now. And then now he's the president again. And yeah, and even now as a president, he's actually doing a lot of the work that he used to do as a prime minister. Right? He's a very So we've come to almost the end of it. So what are some things that we can learn from him?
These are quite interesting.
Yes. Yes.
So I think there are many things.
I think many men should learn from him. Yes, because he's a brave man.
Yes.
Brave and very humor.
Very humorous.
And sometimes very tender.
Very tender.
Yeah.
Why do you say that?
Tender to girls on animals.
Ah.
Yes.
It seems like you've fallen in love.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah, okay, you would have done a lot of research on him. You read a lot on him. I see. What do you think, Lenson? What's the biggest thing that you can take away from him? You can learn from?
Yeah, for Putin, yeah, I think I can learn from him
Maybe his leadership style, maybe even his personal life.
I think can learn
macho guy.
Macho guy.
Macho guy.
Macho guy. Very, very how to say, 霸气.
Mature.
Mature.
A very mature guy. Yes, he's got a very mature thinking
Yeah.
style. Yeah. So that's what makes him a very good leader. Yeah.
Yes.
Even at the start, he knew he wanted to be a leader at a very young age. So he actually built his life in such a way that, okay, this is next, and after I finish law school, I'm going to become an intelligence officer or spy, and then I'm going to go to this place, and then I'm going to go back to the Moscow and become a minister. And then he planned it out, and the only thing he didn't plan was the first time he became a president. That was the only thing that he didn't plan, because the first time he became a president, he was just a minister for maybe a year, if I'm not wrong. And then because Boris Yeltsin was gonna, he said, I can't do this anymore. I was getting older, and he said, you become a president. So that was the only thing he didn't plan, and after that he planned everything else.
Yes.
So he's very mature in the way he thinks, and his leadership, this decision making is also very higher level. Right? Yeah. So there are a lot of things that we can learn from him. But for Sasa, you said that the men should learn from him. How about for you then? So what's one thing that you will take away from him? One thing that you will do.
One thing.
And that you will learn from him. Just one.
Brave.
Be brave.
Brave. Yeah, brave.
Why is that important?
Yeah.
Why is that important?
Because I think brave can make you do everything.
Even the most difficult things.
Yes, difficult. Yeah.
You can
handle the difficult things.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I totally agree. And he's one brave man.
Yeah.
He's one brave man. Yeah. And how about you, Lancel? Just one thing that you would.
Yeah, I think can learn the qualities of the confident. He's confident.
Yes.
He like challenges.
Mm-hmm.
He is not afraid of the challenges.
Yeah, he's not. He's really not.
What's more, he's motivation.
Yeah.
Passion.
Yeah.
His passion.
Very big. Very big. Whatever qualities that you mentioned, he's very big with that. When you say he's motivated, he's not just motivated. He's very motivated. He gets a lot of things done. And since we are at this, if you have time, he just gave an interview with the Financial Times, which is a UK-based, if I'm not wrong, it's UK-based newspaper.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's a video interview. It's the first time he has given an interview to a Western-based organization. First time in 16 years he has done it. You should watch the video.
The base is the vice president in USA.
No. He spoke to a reporter.
Reporter.
A Western reporter. Yeah,
Oh,
correct.
okay.
So yeah, it's the first time in 16 years he has done it.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's I think it was about a week ago. Yeah, last week. And it's a very interesting interview because he spoke like what Sasa said. He about all the things that he has done, and also about what are the changes that the world is facing, not just Russia. So one of the things he said that the world has become more divided, and there are no rules now. And he quoted the time like what you said, the Soviet Union. He said when during the Cold War, when the Soviet Union was fighting the US, they fought, but they had rules. There were certain rules that they were obeying. But now, he said, if people were to go to war, there are no rules. People just do whatever they want. And he felt that was the worst things that can happen to people. It was very interesting. I saw that. Yeah, you should. I'll send you the link. Okay? And you can watch it. All right? So that's all. We've used up a whole half an hour for today. Okay? And then
Very good.
yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.